What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the EMPEDC Pulse OTF. Now this is came in via the Lefty passaround group, and I am ready to do my full review, give you guys my full thoughts, my full opinions on it. So we're going to dive right into it. Happy Tuesday to you guys. You guys are going to see this specific video on Tuesday, and I have about 4 other reviews to do for you guys to get through the rest of the week. I'm off from work today, so I figured it'd be a great time to sit down, bang out some videos. So I'm going to try really hard to keep them around 15 minutes or so. I know sometimes I can get up to close to 20, but I'm going to try really hard to not ramble too much and to, get out the content for you guys. But as always, the EMPEDC Pulse will be linked down below. Huge shout out to Kevin over at Lefty EDC, as always, for sending us awesome and dope stuff to check out. You guys know so many videos of mine would not be out for you guys to see if it wasn't for Kevin constantly putting in new stuff in the passaround group. So I always really do appreciate it. But yeah, so we're going to start off. There are 3 different variations of this. So right here I have the belt satin version. There's also a DLC blackout. So you have the blacked out blade, and then the clip over here is blacked out as well, which is really nice. Then there is a black bronze stonewash blade. So it's black aluminum handle scale, bronze accents on the actuator switch, the pocket clip, and then the blade is stonewash. That's a pretty cool variation of it. Now these are all sold out, so just giving you guys a heads up. Again, the link to EMP's website will be linked down below. And they are starting to introduce pretty soon, I think, a fully made in the USA version. They're partnering, I think, with Axial Gear, who I have had on the channel before, some different reviews of their knives. So that's really cool to be seeing, fully made in the USA EMPEDC products out there, which is, like I said, really, really cool, really awesome. Now for the first first category of my review, materials. I'm skipping around on my laptop over here. So the handle material is milled aluminum. Beautiful milling on both sides, as well as the clip. It matches up very well. I am in love with this milling. It just adds such a nice texture, such a nice grip to your ergonomic experience, as well as, aesthetically it looks really good too. And I love when knives have milling that match the pocket clip as well. It works great, looks great. Handle length is 4.4 inches. Blade steel is coming in a Magna Cut, which is really nice, in a 62 to 64 HRC. You have a 3.2-inch blade length on this Wharncliffe style blade. Of course, you have the EMPEDC sort of patented hole right there with the scalloping on both sides, which looks really good. Just a beautiful blade. Comes down to a thin edge. I think this almost feels like a hollow grind, but of course, you have a nice swedge building up here with jimping. Total length of the knife opened up is 7.6 inches. Pocket clip is obviously a milled titanium clip. Button is titanium as well. And this comes in at 3.8 ounces. So pretty lightweight knife for an OTF, which is very nice. So Magna Cut, aluminum scales with beautiful milling. There is the EMPEDC logo right there, the atom. Titanium actuator, titanium clip. Beautiful Magna Cut Wharncliffe blade. And the build quality is really good on this too. One thing I noticed is, normally when you get OTFs, it rattles, but you guys can't hear this at all. A little bit right there, just the way it's hitting off my fingers. But this is a very solidly built OTF, and I really, really enjoy the feeling of a well-built OTF. So for my first category, I have to go 5 out of 5. I think all the materials are great, no complaints at all. Like I said, it has to be a pretty rough knife for me not to give a 5 out of 5 on the materials, because most materials are damn good nowadays. So next up is aesthetic, and I think this knife looks very, very wicked. The blade, I almost said blade cliff. The blade is a Wharncliffe, kind of Wharncliffe sheepsfoot style, reverse tonto, whatever you want to call it. You just have a straight edge down here, nice swedge building up here. Again, that milling just looks fantastic. The way the clip, OTFs just look really good in general. This is probably one of my favorites that I've handled or seen so far. And the EMPEDC logo looks really good. Milled clip with that milling on it looks really good. So I have to give a 5 out of 5 as well. I did see some people, talking about the idea of why they put the hole in the blade, because, you don't have any other method of opening the knife besides the actuator. So, but I personally think it looks good, you know, from an aesthetic standpoint. Again, they're sticking with their sort of patented, you know, design with the scalloping on both sides, that, you know, have been used on all their models pretty much from now, or from the beginning until now. So I'm okay with that. So I think it looks really good, hence why 5 out of 5. Now, action. Action's a little bit different. This is the first OTF I've reviewed with my new review system. So, but I'm just going to treat it with a grain of salt, and, you know, just basically review it like I would review a normal knife. You do have this actuator switch, like I've said multiple times by now, hence, you know, OTF. You have scalloping or stepping on both sides, and it's just very smooth. You know, you build pressure, pops right out, builds pressure, pops down. And OTFs are just, super fun because you can just fidget with them. They're fun to play with. They're also very loud. I have annoyed my wife numerous times with this knife, just because it is loud and obnoxious. So I wouldn't do this out in public, but it is now legal in PA to carry an OTF, which is really cool. But the actuator is nice and, you know, very, very smooth. There's no, you know, no grittiness. I don't know if they're using any sort of like a ball bearing in here, or how, you know, if it's just a typical, you know, actuator that is found on many other OTFs. But I really, really do enjoy it. Oh, sorry, I need a sip of water. But smooth, fires out of there fantastically. Great snap. Hits very hard. So 5 out of 5. This is honestly one of the better OTFs I've handled and one of my favorites I've handled. So it's going to be a pretty positive review. Acoustics, you guys just heard. Loud, snappy, you know, sort of catches your attention, in your face a little bit. And that's what OTFs, you know, big part of them are, is like when you're fidgeting with them, just that snap, that resounding like bang coming out of there, that thwack, whatever you want to call it. So again, an easy 5 out of 5, guys. You know, this isn't too hard to give good scores to, just because everything is well made, well manufactured. I don't know if this is who this is manufactured by. It's not on the site. Normally it would be. I've seen it on here before. So I don't know if QSP did this. I don't know if Concept did this, Kubi. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so I wish I could tell you guys, but unfortunately I cannot. So next up is ergos. Guys, it's pretty much, it's a very simple design. I mean, you have straight back here, you do have a thumb ramp and a thumb ramp for the OTF, or excuse me, the actuator that's stepping on both sides, but you pretty much have a straight line, a little bit of a curve, straight line, and then down here a straight line. So it's very simple, you know, and odds are it's going to be comfortable. And, you know, spoiler alert, it is. You can get a 4-finger grip on here, very nice. It's a medium-sized OTF. It's definitely not small, but it's definitely not big, so it fits right in that, you know, sweet spot for me personally. You do have jimping up on the blade, but you can either land back here with your hand on the back side of the actuator. You can land up here with your thumb on the front side, and then you can also land up here on the blade. So if you're doing like push cuts and you need a little extra blade stability, you can definitely do that. You can choke up pretty good, to where if you're doing like cutting through or around something that's very specific and you want to be careful around it, you can definitely do that. Pinch grip works really good, especially with this Warncliffe having such a low, nice tip. Just drop in, cut through packages, cut around, you know, labels, things of that nature. The milling just adds such a nice element to the ergonomic experience with the Pulse OTF. And one other thing, I just thought of it. I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier, so a little tidbit. The hardware is, I think, T8s, which is, no, they're, yeah, T8s, I think, which is nice because in a lot of OTFs nowadays, especially like Microtechs, they are, you know, star bits, or they're their own proprietary hardware tool. So the ease in what's what I'm looking for, being able to take this knife down, you know, is very easy to maintain it, you know, and to, you know, clean it, lube it up, things of that nature. So I just wanted to point that out to you. It just caught my eye whenever I was talking about the milling. But back to the milling, just adds a great element to the ergonomic experience with the Pulse. It's very, very comfortable. It's not overly aggressive to where it's going to be eating your hands up or eating your pocket up, but it does enough to really just take the ergos to another level. It just kind of locks your hand in there. Feels really good. And again, I love the pocket clip. The pocket clip is a milled clip, so you're sitting pretty flush. And honestly, I can't feel it at all. It's not a hot spot whatsoever. So not really much more to say. I'm going to give it another 5. So yeah, next up is carry. And it carries very deep for a milled clip. You guys can see the screws are mounted right there, but this thing goes pretty much up to the screws. So you only have about that much sticking up out of your pocket. So as far as milled clips go, it works very, very well. I love milled clips, especially when they try to be as deep as they can, which this definitely did. It's mounted as far as you can get on the knife. The only other thing you could have done is like mount a top clip. And that would have been pretty deep carry, but as far as milled clips go, this one works fantastically. Carries very well, sits down in your pocket. You do have the actuator right here, but the jimping or stepping is pretty minimalistic. You're not going to, rip your hands, or, when you go down to get medicine, chapstick, things of that nature. You do have a little bit of a risk of when you go down, grab something, pull it back up out. You do have a little bit of a risk of maybe catching this, but I had no issues with it. I've carried this in jeans. I've carried this in sweatpants around the house. Carries great. It is not reversible. The one nice thing would have been a reversible clip for this knife. That would have maybe made it a, I guess I got to knock it a little bit because, you could have easily tapped 2 screws right there to mount it. So for that, I'm going to give it a 4.5. I think that one little extra step would have been nice for lefties and for the ambidextrous of this knife. But next up is price point and value. So price point on the website, according to EMPEDC, this version goes for $280. The bronze version with the stonewash goes for $270, and the DLC blackout goes for $280. So less than $300, I think, is a fantastic price for this. $300 is kind of the threshold for OTFs. A lot of microtechs cost, I shouldn't say $300. $250 to $300 is kind of the threshold for like really well-made OTFs. You can find a lot, cheaper, sort of the more budget versions of OTFs. You can find plenty that are more expensive, more of the show ones, more of the special edition ones from Microtech. But, Axial Gear falls in that category, I believe. I haven't looked at pricing from them in a while. I can't think of it. Microtech obviously falls in that price category. What are the other names of? I'm having a Guardian Tactical. That was the one I'm thinking of. They fall in that category. So I think the price point is very fair. Of course, they are sold out right now, unfortunately. But if you guys follow his website, you guys can maneuver around and find his Instagram, and that is where he posts a lot, gives a lot of updates on. John Rust is the guy behind EMPEDC, and he posts a lot, gives you guys, he's very good at, talking to the community, keeping the community informed on his drops, on his knives, things of that nature. That's my new catchphrase, I guess, on this video. But for everything, for Magna Cut, for milled titanium, nice milled scales, great snappy action, beautiful blade, great ergos, great carry. I got to give it a 5, guys. And that's going to take, I don't have to do my math right now. So I can absolutely recommend this knife if you guys can find it in stock. I'm sure the upcoming USA drop ones are going to be more expensive, because they're made in the USA. So I expect them maybe to be $350 to $400, but that'll be, definitely something to keep your eye on. So I can absolutely recommend this. It's one of the best OTS I've ever handled, and I am, very confident in saying that. I think they killed it. I think the design is awesome. And for there being their first OTF when they're primarily a, folding knife company, I think that, whoever made this knife knocked it out of the park. Whoever the OEM did a really good job, and John did a great design, has a great design with the Pulse. But like I said, I don't have to do my math. The Pulse is coming in at a 34.5, so that is falling in the fantastic category. That is my second highest ranked knife that I've ever done. Now take it with a grain of salt. It is an OTF, so it's not as comparable to, I definitely prefer folding knives over OTFs, but this is a damn good OTF, and I was very, very excited to check it out, and happy to give you guys my full thoughts and opinions on it. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up now, so leave a comment down below. What are your guys' thoughts on the Pulse OTF? Do you have one? Did you want one? Did you miss out on one? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But thank you guys again so much for watching. Huge shout out to Kevin over at Lefty DC for, again, giving us a really awesome knife to check out. Always appreciate you, Kev. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, night, day, whenever you're watching this, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.